It's car con carne. Let's eat in the car. It's car con carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstyne, and here we are. It is episode 560. Dear God, this is, by my calculations, the 243rd episode I've done from home since the pandemic started, which is bananas. Now, coming up in the next few weeks, well, first off, next week, I teased this the other day, without exaggeration, one of the biggest newsmakers of this year so far. This is not hyperbole. This is not typical like radio BS. Oh no, you're not going to want to miss this. Seriously, one of the biggest newsmakers of the year will be on this show within the next week. Also, Alligator Records, the venerable, long-running Chicago-based blues label, Alligator Records, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. And to celebrate that, we have a roundtable coming up next week with founder of Alligator Records, Bruce Iglauer, and Shamika Copeland joining in on that, which is pretty freaking cool. Also coming up, the editor of Spawn comic books. He works for Todd McFarlane. Thomas Healy will be on the show. Lots of cool stuff in the works as well. Tell a friend, please. Why don't you? We're on Facebook right now as we're recording this. Car Con Carne is also available on all podcast platforms and the YouTube, which the kids seem to like as well. Joining me tonight, it is four just devastatingly interesting and handsome men. They are the gentlemen of Fuzzbucket. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Hey, how's it going?
Nice to see it. You know, you describe your music as, quote, the soundtrack to the party in your mom's basement. Why do you have to come after my mom?
No, we're not coming after your mom. Remember, like, when you would be at a party in your friend's mom's basement and there's, like, it's unfinished and there's Christmas lights up instead of real furniture? That's
I want to go back to those days.
Tell me about it. I just miss parties in general, man.
I want to actually, I guess the music of Fuzzbucket will transport me there.
Yeah.
It'll take me to a better place. I love the fact that you're drinking old styles, because when I think of you guys now, what's the video where you guys are like shotgunning PBRs and beating the crap out of a building?
Oh,
that's Ian Colleen. Yeah, that was a fun one. We kind of just, that's kind of our style and attitude, really.
Yeah.
It is such a dude video. I mean, you're shotgunning beers, then you're just like taking hammers and mallets to walls.
That was actually a really kind of lucky thing. So Teddy works at a studio, and they were gutting it, and they needed demo. Like, they were going to have demo guys come the next day. So we said, hey, can we shoot a video in there of us smashing it?
That's amazing.
Said, yeah.
That's wish fulfillment right there.
Yeah, it was great.
Literally couldn't ask for a better situation. Yeah. Especially for a song like that.
And I think before the pandemic, there was an actual business model where there'd be like rage rooms where you could pay like $15 to like break glass or smash walls. There's an actual like entrepreneurial business model behind that. And you guys lived it.
It was awesome. Yeah. It was almost as fun as axe throwing. I've done that before.
Yeah, it's like a smash them or something. They're really cool.
Yeah, we also heard like breaking glass. It was awesome.
There's nothing more satisfying than putting a Telecaster through two glass windows.
Or throwing like a snare drum through some glass.
Oh, I bet.
Until you realize you dented the snare drum. I had to replace the entire bottom rim of my Superphonic.
And what's the lesson? The drummers always get screwed.
That's right.
I played that Telecaster like 3 days later at a show.
Well done. Yeah, you're talking about axe throwing. I'm that guy. I missed it this year because of the pandemic. I love going to the Bristol Renaissance Fair. I don't dress up. I don't speak in tongues. I don't walk around saying, good day, my lord. But I love like all that shit. You bows and arrows. You can throw tomatoes at a guy. You throw hatchets and stuff. I love that stuff.
I've never been.
I haven't been to the Ren Fair. It's been a while.
I've always wanted to go axe throwing. That's one thing I've never done, but there's one right down the street from us.
Yeah.
And I didn't discover that till after quarantine started. So I
way.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that either. It's like off Irving and Cicero.
There's an archery range in the city too.
Yes, I've been to that one. It's like by Humboldt, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
There are places to do that stuff. You just gotta seek them out.
And then you can always go to the Ren Fair and show your skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
But I love that. It feels so cathartic to throw stuff like that. So we're starting off by talking about violent stuff. We'll transition to more wholesome things. What really hooked me back into you guys, and I think the first time I played you was on Demo 312 was maybe 4 years ago. I played Creep a handful of years ago. But what hooked me back in is the song Takeout, which I said it cheekily in the copy for the Facebook post when I shared this video, but every now and then a song hits you because it accurately reflects your world at that moment. Takeout is the world we are now living in. I can live on takeout food, or I can live off takeout food. I don't even need to leave my room. That is us for the past 12 months. That is everyone.
Pretty much.
This is a one-size-fits-all song for our COVID-19 lives.
Yeah, I think at one part it even talks about like not shaving or, not even taking care of like your hair or anything. And I definitely, I have like no need to even worry about that. Yeah. It's just like...
See, I started when I work from home during the day, and I realize how fortunate I am to be able to do that. But when I started, I was still getting dressed in the morning. I was still putting on jeans. I was still dressing like, okay, I'm working. I after about 3 months, I'm like, no, I'm full pajamas or full jogging shorts. Like, who am I even kidding anymore? And I shaved today because it's you guys. It's Fuzzbucket. But
I put on jeans for you too, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Now let's talk a little bit about the video for Takeout. Sock puppetry. You're bringing it back.
Yeah, that was all Joe. Joe watches far too much of the Muppets, and he was
Dude,
like,
I love the Muppets.
I've got this show.
effort.
I've got this idea. And the next thing we know, my basement has turned into an arts and craft fest. And
Crafting.
a pretty poor one, really.
yeah. And the next thing you know, we've got a video of sock puppets.
It's totally lo-fi. It's adorable. It's sock puppets as your effigies performing the song. And it does look like you guys had a blast at Michael's one afternoon and you just came home and busted out some glue and some yarn.
It was really hard to find googly eyes.
I was about to say that's the most important thing.
Really?
I went to like 4 different stores to find googly eyes.
And by the third store, did you think, I'm an asshole? What am I doing?
Right. No, I was determined to find googly eyes.
Because at that point, it becomes a mission. It becomes, I'm not going back home until I get this, until it's in my sweaty hand. This song has been around for a while. You played it on JBTV a few years ago.
Yeah.
The video was just done last year.
Correct.
Let's talk a little bit about takeout food, because if there's one thing I know to be true, bands usually know the best places to eat cheap.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite places, I guess there are probably cheaper places out there, but you get a lot of food for pretty good prices in Mellows on Clark in Lincoln Park. It's like Clark and Dickens. And I sort of came up with the takeout food song. I was eating a lot of Mellows, and I was eating RJ Grunt's too, just right down the street. And RJ Grunt's isn't as cheap.
RJ Grunt's that's a place I remember going there. My parents took me there when I was a kid. I'm sure everyone's parents took them there. I mean, that was my first real salad bar experience.
Man, I love RJ
It's the
Grunt's.
original salad bar.
And it's
Yeah,
funny
man.
because they have all the portraits on the walls. And for like 2 years, I was going there all the time. And I was like, they got these portraits of like models. And I was like, where are all these models? And then I started seeing portraits of the waitresses that were working there. And I realized it's all just the waiting staff. I was like, damn, they really do a good job hiring.
Hey, do you guys have like a preferred hot dog place or a preferred taco place? Like,
So my favorite Mexican place in general is El Pueblito.
Shout out.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Oh man, and it's super cheap, and it's off like Cicero and Foster, and I always pretty much get the exact same thing every time I go. I get a chicken quesadilla, 2 chorizo tacos, and an al pastor taco with cilantro and onion on all of them, and it's like $15. Oh, and an orange burrito, and it's like $15.
I love Doritos. The tamarind one, I just tried that for my first time like a year ago.
That's the brown one, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, no, and then lime. I think lime's a close second.
Uh-huh. Right there with you. Teddy, you're I guess we need your opinion.
Well, as far as the best spot in my opinion is, I love burgers, and Red Hot Ranch is my spot, and my boss loves Red Hot Ranch. And prior to the pandemic, I knew the daytime staff and the nighttime staff there. Like I would walk in and they'd be like, "Hey, Teddy." They like there was one time I think they call her Mama. She works the daytime. And she's the fry cook.
Okay.
And she saw me pull into the lot and she knocked on the window and was like, "Do you want one or two?" Because I'm either buying for myself or myself and my boss. And then I'm pretty sure I'd say 80% of the shows that Fuzzbucket has played in the city of Chicago, we've ended up at Red Hot Ranch.
Yeah, probably.
In one shape
Yep.
or another.
And it's almost always the same staff at 2:30, 3 in the morning. It's always like pretty much just Prince.
Yeah.
This dude who looks like Prince who works there, and we always call him Prince.
I don't know what his actual name is. I'm not gonna lie.
I love Red Hot Ranch. In fact, back in the old days, back pre-pandemic, when I did this podcast in my car, I did Red Hot Ranch with Fort Francis, with Nathan Graham, and Friday Pilots Club. I went there thrice in the lifetime of this podcast because, yeah, I agree. That place is awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the best.
I worked over there for a while. So like I worked at Rax Trax over there on Belmont and Ashland area. So that was good. I ate a lot of Chicago's pizza when I was there. I've since found better spots in my opinion, but
For pizza?
yeah.
Come on. Out with it. Let's hear it.
Thin crust pizza, my favorite is Marie's.
And Lawrence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that good tavern style.
Is that or LaRosa's?
But yeah, I like La Rosa a lot too.
La Rosa in Skokie. That place has been there forever.
1955.
And they've got the old oven there. That's like, there's not much to look at when you walk in, but they've got that old pizza oven when you walk through the door.
Been in there, but Joe used to work for
I
him.
got
So
there once. Yeah.
I actually, as thin crust goes in the north suburbs, I think they're above and beyond most of the competition.
Not even close.
Yeah, I mean they're really that good. The sauce is great. I'm right there with you. I think.
They also have Pequods too for deep dish
yeah.
up there in the north suburbs too.
Yeah, the original Pequods in Morton Grove is a favorite.
Dude, damn, all the pizzas, all the.
I love pizza. I'm that guy. I love Pequods. I love La Rosa. I love Lou's, but I'm that guy who thinks that really any pizza is okay. Like there's obviously better pizza, but if you put melted cheese on bread with tomato sauce in some way, shape, or form, I'm in.
It's like you can't mess that up. You know what I mean? It's just like classic. It's always going to taste good.
Right. There's like a baseline expectation, and then other restaurants are able to take you beyond that baseline expectation, like
Exactly.
a Pequod, like a La Rosa.
Putting anchovies on it.
Or pineapple.
I have no problem with anchovy or pineapple.
Really? I don't know about
Oh, man.
pineapple.
I got a place I got to be.
Now, don't get me wrong. My favorite is sausage, like by far. I just like a straight up sausage, maybe a little green pepper and onion on that too. But I can go on a tangent. I can go on a food tangent when it comes to pizza. I can be experimental.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the cover for Takeout. It's on Spotify and all that stuff. But when we did that, Joe and I literally went and ordered. We went to 10 different spots throughout the city, and La Rosa, and then we put it on my table in my basement and took that picture.
It's awesome.
And it was right. This is in the first month or two of quarantine.
Yeah,
So, it was still when everybody was all gung-ho on, eat local. And obviously we still wish that was still the case, but now that we're a year deep, people have forgotten about that.
I don't know if they've forgotten about it. I think there's still a big push. I'd like to believe there is, at least, to keep eating local and support independent restaurateurs. I think that's super important. I think now that more people are out in the world than there were 8 months ago, you're seeing more people going to Five Guys or whatever. But I definitely think local businesses are a priority for people who give a shit about what they eat.
Yeah. One of my favorite spots, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called Mother Cluckers. You ever been there?
Oh,
I've heard of it. My friend Abe swears by this place. It's supposed to be fantastic.
In the car, that probably would have been my pick.
oh yeah.
When I lived on Clark Street for a long time by Wrigley, and then I moved out to Cicero and Foster or whatever over there right near there. And it was prior to my wife moving in with me. And I had given all of my, everything from my kitchen to a friend of mine who was really hurting and had no money. I was like, my wife's coming with all this stuff. I don't need it. But I forgot I was living by myself for a month before she got there.
Uh-huh.
So I was at Mother Cluckers pretty much every day for a month straight. I got to know Tim, the owner, and his dad, who passed a few years ago. But like that place is awesome. The fried
So
chicken sandwich is
Are you
great.
over by Roma's now?
Yeah.
We're not far.
Yeah, a little south there. Roma's is a solid choice as well.
Solid choice.
Incredible beef. We love Roma's.
They've got the hot dogs, the atomic combo.
Oh yeah. And don't
Okay.
they?
Yeah.
And don't they have some hot dog that they get like? I don't know if it's like
No, that's what he's talking
Oh,
about.
Yeah,
okay.
it's,
My bad.
Yeah.
it's the hot dogs like atomic sausage, like the super spicy sausage, and they've
Yeah.
got like the super hot jardinera on it. That is a sandwich right there. That is a Chicago classic right there.
We talk about it all the time. The owner. I
Yeah.
can't remember what his name is right now. Freddie. Yeah, that's right. He talks about it all the time.
Every time I go there, the owner, I don't know his name,
Right.
super enthusiastic, reminds me of the Hub skit on SNL where they like every time you take a bite, you like the juice, huh? He likes the juice. It's the same feeling when I go to Roma's. You like the sandwich, huh? No, I love it. It's a good sandwich, right? It is. It is.
And then he sits with you, just talking about
Who plays that part on this?
Adam Sandler's one of them, and I think Rob Schneider's the other one.
Yeah, Chris Farley's in that. Mike Myers, and Jason Alexander.
Sounds like something you find on this machine.
Classic.
they brought it back.
Yeah.
So, thinking more about your music, I love Pharmatopia. Nice
Oh yeah.
big fat guitar soloing at the end of that one. And you're working on new music, yes?
Yeah, we are. We've got a single coming out at the end of March 26th, and it's called Disappointment, and it's going to be a video. It'll be released on all, the streaming platforms, and then we're also going to do a live stream from Catspit TV.
Catspit TV.
Yeah, it's
Super stoked for that.
this guy Ken Paul. He's been around for a while. He's I think made his name in the house scene. Did a lot of mastering in the house scene. And anyway, he had a record store, and when the pandemic hit, well, he had a record store and like a punk rock record label. And well, I shouldn't he has a record label, and
They do music.
yeah, and when the pandemic hit, he was like, I have no way for my bands to do anything, so he turned his record store in Brookfield into a video studio, basically, and put some really awesome gear in there, and he's got a switcher, and it's really well done.
That's awesome. And this is something I've come back to constantly over the past 12 months, finding new ways to do old things during this pandemic. I mean, you can't wait for everything to get back to what we think is normal. You got to figure out ways to bully your way through it, tunnel your way through all the BS. It sounds like that's exactly what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he jumped on it, which was awesome, and we've just been able to, ride along on the coattails a little bit there. But
So when are you doing this on
this
Catspit?
the same day, March 26th.
Okay.
So,
Right.
But by naming the new song Disappointment, you lower the bar of expectations. So really, you're going to knock it out of the park.
Exactly.
You will not be disappointed.
All right. So if people want to see the sock puppet video, if they want to watch you shotgun beers and beat the holy hell out of a building, they should check you out on YouTube. You're a Fuzzbucket there. Is Fuzzbucket Rocks the website? Is that right?
So
Yeah.
The website is Fuzzbucket Rocks. Pretty much everything. The YouTube channel is called Fuzzbucket Rocks.
Yeah, I think everything.
Instagram is
Facebook.
Fuzzbucket Rocks. Facebook is Fuzzbucket Rocks.
Awesome.
The brand.
I will say one thing about that video though, is when we were like beating up the drywall and stuff. I feel like every time I hit the wall, I hit a stud. I like could not break through that drywall. And so there's like that one little piece that you see me in the video finally getting it.
Yeah.
It was like an hour of me just like, it's like every 4 feet that just happened to be where I hit.
You can see it in the video too. There's this one shot where I go to hit a sticker,
Yeah.
and like our sticker is perfect, like the size of a hammer, and I missed it 3 times. And Mike, the guy who edited it for us, he left one
And
of them
shot
in there. Yeah, and shot it. And he's shooting our video that we're doing for Disappointment too. He's a great guy.
Did he do the puppet video too?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn, yeah.
He's
He
done
set
all
up
the
the camera
videos.
on the tripod.
Wow, yes.
Very nice. All right, Fuzzbucket, true to your website and your brand. You rock. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate meeting you and talking music and food with you guys tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.